Spain, the faces of. In 1971, a middle-aged Spanish woman was scrubbing the floors of her home when she noticed something incredible. Etched into the tiled floor of her kitchen were human faces. At first she thought it might be some kind of trick of the light, but as she continued to scrub, more and more faces appeared. Soon, word of Maria's strange discovery spread throughout the country, attracting the attention of journalists and scientists. People from all over Spain came to Bélmez to see the mysterious faces for themselves. There we saw the face of a man with a beard staring straight ahead, his eyes and nose clearly defined. The first was that it was a miracle, a divine intervention that had placed the faces on the floor for all to see. What they found was that the faces were indeed made of acid, but that they were not a modern substance. The acid had been created naturally over a long period of time and was consistent with the age of the tiles themselves. This ruled out the possibility that someone had created the faces as a hoax. The second theory was that it was a hoax, that someone had created the faces using acid and were now profiting from the attention that they were getting. However, the mayor of Bélmez came to the defense of the people, stating that they had nothing to gain by lying about the faces. He also pointed out that the town had existed for over 1,000 years, without anyone ever seeing the faces before. Nearby was the face of a young girl, her hair tied back with a ribbon. There have been many theories put forward over the years, but none have been proven. Perhaps the most intriguing is that the faces are the result of some kind of ancient curse placed on the village. Whatever the explanation, the faces continue to baffle scientists and tourists alike. And near her, the face of a monk with a pointed beard. Even more disturbing, the faces seem to move around the floor, appearing and disappearing in different locations. As more and more people came to see the faces, more faces appeared. Coincidence or something more sinister? One of the first people to visit was Dr. Victor Muñoz Fernandez, an expert in paranormal phenomena. He examined the floor and found that the faces seemed to be embedded in the tiles themselves, as if they had been there all along. It was odd because the house had been built over 30 years ago, and no one had noticed any faces until now. This bizarre occurrence was not only witnessed by this poor woman, but also by journalists, priests, and scientists who came to investigate. It has been turned into a museum, and visitors from all over the world come to see the mysterious floor tiles for themselves. Have you ever seen anything like this before? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. And even they couldn't explain what was happening. So what is going on here? Is this a miracle, a hoax, or something else entirely? Let's take a look at the mysterious faces of Bélmez. It all began in the small village of Bélmez, which sits in the southern province of Córdoba. Maria Gomez was a local woman who lived with her husband and 5 children in their modest home. One day, while cleaning her kitchen floor, she noticed some strange markings that looked like human faces. At first, she paid them no heed, assuming that they were simply a trick of the light. However, when she went to wipe the floor, the markings became clearer and more distinct. Concerned, she called upon the local priest to see if he could explain the phenomenon. As days passed, more faces appeared, along with other strange markings. The media quickly picked up on the story, and soon Maria's home was a popular tourist attraction. One journalist described the scene as follows. But how did these faces get on the floor? There were 2 main theories to explain the phenomenon. To investigate further, authorities brought in experts to analyze the composition of the floor tiles and the markings on them. Still, many people were skeptical, believing that someone had concocted the entire story to attract tourists. So what is the truth? Unfortunately, the mystery remains unsolved. Today, the house where the faces appeared is still standing,